We're getting married. We thought you ought to be the first to know, said Bethan, and blushed. Rincewind didn't catch Two Flowers' eye. Well, that's, very, Just as soon as we find a town where there's a priest, said Bethan. I want it done properly. Oh, that's very important, said Two Flower seriously. If there were more morals about, we wouldn't be crashing into stars. They considered this for a moment. Then Two Flower said brightly, This calls for a celebration. I've got some biscuits and water if you've still got some of that jerky. Oh, good, said Rincewind weakly. He beckoned Cohen to one side. With his beard trimmed, the old man could easily have passed for 70 on a dark night. This is, serious, he said. You really going to marry her? Sure thing. Any objections? Well, no, of course not. But, she's 17, and you're, how can I put it? You're of the elderly persuasion. Time I settle down, you mean? Rincewind groped for words. You're 70 years older than her, Cohen. Are you sure that... I have been married before, you know. I've got quite a good memory, said Cohen reproachfully. No, what I mean is... Well, I mean, physically, the point is, what about, well, you know, the age difference and everything? I mean, it's a matter of health, isn't it? And, Ah, said Cohen slowly. I see what you mean. The strain. I hadn't looked at it like that. No, said Rincewind, straightening up. No, well, that's only to be expected. You've given me something to think about, and no mistake, said Cohen. Well, I hope I haven't upset anything. No, said Cohen vaguely. Don't apologise. You were right to point it out. He turned and looked at Bethan, who waved at him, and then he looked up at the star that glared through the mists. Eventually he said, Dangerous times, these. That's a fact. Who knows what tomorrow may bring? Not me. Cohen clapped Rincewind on the shoulder. Sometimes we just have to take risks, he said. Don't be offended, but I think we'll go ahead with the wedding anyway. And, well... He looked at Bethan and sighed. We'll just have to hope she's strong enough. Around noon the following day, they rode into a small, mud-walled city, surrounded by fields still lush and green. There seemed to be a lot of traffic going the other way, though. Huge carts rumbled past them. Herds of livestock ambled along the crown of the road. Old ladies stomped past, carrying entire households and haystacks on their backs. Plague, said Rincewind, stopping a man pushing a handcart full of children. He shook his head. It's the star, friend, he said. Haven't you seen it in the sky? We couldn't help noticing it, yes. They say that it'll hit us on Hogswatch night, and the seas will boil and the countries of the disk will be broken, and kings will be brought down, and cities will be as lakes of glass, said the man. I'm off to the mountains. That'll help, will it? Said Rincewind doubtfully. No, but the view will be better. Rincewind rode back to the others. Everyone's worried about the star, he said. Apparently there's hardly anyone left in the cities. They're all frightened of it. I don't want to worry anyone, said Bethan, but hasn't it struck you as unseasonably hot? That's what I said last night, said Two Flower. Very warm, I thought. I suspect it'll get a lot hotter, said Cohen. Let's get on into the city. They rode through echoing streets that were practically deserted. Cohen kept peering at merchant signs until he reined his horse and said, This is what I've been looking for. You find a temple and a priest, I'll join you shortly. A jeweller, said Rincewind. It's a surprise. I could do with a new dress, too, said Bethan. I'll steal you one. There was something very oppressive about the city, Rincewind decided. There was also something very odd. Almost every door was painted with a large red star. It's creepy, said Bethan, as if people wanted to bring the star here. Or keep it away, said Two Flower. That won't work, it's too big, said Rincewind. He saw their faces turned towards him. Well, it stands to reason, doesn't it? He said lamely. No,